Let's push some buttons and make a thing happen. Okay, hello everyone. Welcome back to the Big Bad Bench. My name is John, aka Big Bad Biologist. Today we're going to be working on a 2SI, or sort of two 2SIs. I don't know, 1 1/4 2SIs, something like that. And of course, the 2SI in Ron's computer videos, famous words. Well, even if you fix it, it's still just a 2SI. Darn it, I love the 2SI. So you quiet, Ron, even though we love you, Ron. So let's say hi to folks in the chat as you're looking at some bits here. Let's look at some other bits in the microscope too, because microscope bits are always fun to look at. So here's two bits in the microscope. Oh yeah, that's better. This is an ugly one. This is a nicer one. This is an ugly one. Nicer one. Chris Angelis also loves the 2SI. Thank you, Chris. So we got Mac 84 is here. Sloopy Malibu. AG is here. Francois Raval is here. Trina's Technobabble. I said hi to Chris, but yes. Justin D. Morgan's here. Hey, come on. I'm not working on tantalum caps today. Explosions yesterday. Explosions happened on stream. I showed people exactly what it's like when you plug in the AT power supplies the wrong way. We learned. It was explosions. So the Macintosh IIsi, getting back to today's topic, the Macintosh IIsi, the power supply is notorious for awful capacitors. Look at this mess. DIY is here. How's it going? These were the caps from the power supply that we're going to work on today. You can see that they are unpleasant. This power supply was soaking wet. Hey, Tech Ambrosia's here too. How's it going, Tech Amber? Oh shoot, I forgot. I'm not going to be able to pull this up, but I have pictures of this power supply. I'll post them on social media. This thing was gross, but it definitely was not the worst 2SI power supply that I've come across. So notoriously, the caps leak, and yeah, they make a mess. And so this is actually one from one of my 2SI power supplies. And you can see all these little spots all over the board here were little corrody bits. And actually this one was so bad, excuse me. If you look here, there should be a thing here, right? If we look at this one, there's a thing here. That thing had totally corroded off. There's a thing here. That thing had totally corroded off. And so I'm not going to be able to fix this one for a while until I can figure out what this little A6 thing means there. And this kind of looks like a resistor of some sort. Hey, Gut Bomb and Retro Fox are here too. So eventually I'll get to this, but this one's sitting for a while. Also, this one had some, look at that rust on the top, on the bottom of that thing. So this 2SI power supply is in much better condition than mine was. We have, I think there's like, yeah, you can see right here, there's some little spots on this daughter board. And you know, when you poke at it, the solder mask comes off very easily. It's a good idea to get that solder mask off so that you can clean up that corrosion so that it doesn't continue. So we'll do that on this one. So this is the daughter board. This is the actual power supply itself. This is where that daughter board would go. You can see that it's kind of got some discoloration. This thing's been through the ultrasonic bath. And so we've cleaned up a lot of it. But if we look at the back of this, might need to adjust focus. Sorry, this is going to get a little wiggly. Here we go. This, I like to call this like the leopard print pattern. So this is all basically cap juice that's come down through the board and caused corrosion on the back of the board. And so you kind of want to get rid of this. You can scrape it. We're going to use my favorite tool to expedite the process a little bit. But overall, this one looks way better than if we look at the one I was just showing you the daughter board for. This one was even worse. So yeah, mine was in much worse shape. This is AG's from Steve's Discord. And so I'm helping them out to get this thing recapped and taken care of and tested. Did you find the data sheet for the chip? Maybe application circuit is close enough. All right. I don't know. I think I can fix this one. Steve says, I think that board lived inside of a soda can. All right. So this is little abrasive eraser thing attached to a Dremel. So we're just going to use this. So you can see, got a lot of, you can see how quickly that takes care of a lot of that mess. Gonna switch the tip on this one. I already have gone through that. DIY says, oh my god, this is faster than using a fiberglass pencil. Yes, once you use these, you will never go back to using a fiberglass pencil. It's super easier. And these aren't expensive. This is a whole bag of them that I bought for like 13 bucks on eBay, I think. So, yeah. You have to do, you know, when you have really bad traces, you do need to be careful because you will just rip the traces right off. But generally, if you have a lot of really bad traces, you know, you have other issues too. Other thing, you can see how like there was some crusty solder there. This can help get rid of some of that crusty solder. So like if you need to reflow a joint, getting that crusty solder off will help you reflow that joint a little bit easier, because that oxidized solder does not want to flow very well, and so it helps to get that stuff off, and then you can work with it a little bit easier. All right. Justin says, watch my live stream from last Thursday and you'll see traces vanish before your eyes. That sounds like an awesome magic trick, and it's a sad one that a lot of us have been through. But I will definitely go back and watch. Everyone should go watch that stream. Go leave a comment. Say, hey, John sent me over to watch your live stream archive. Because we want to see what happens to sad traces. And if you want to see some real sad stuff, watch my live stream archive from yesterday. Oh my gosh. Well, I didn't destroy that board. I destroyed some tantalums. I destroyed some freaking tantalums. Alright, so what we're going to do here, I'm turning on Chungus iron. We're going to put a bunch of flux on this. So, you know, the solder mask kind of does two things. It prevents stuff from shorting out, but also it prevents corrosion. And as long as you're careful with your soldering, you generally don't have to worry about stuff shorting out too much, but you do need to worry about corrosion. So all these places where we've taken off the solder mask, we're going to flow it with some fresh solder just to make it happy. Sloopy Malibu says, fluxing around, are we? Indeed, Sloopy, indeed. While I'm waiting for Chungus iron to heat up, let me show you something else. So this power supply, actually I guess I can show you on mine, has a giant relay on it. And so when you ultrasonically clean things, this relay is not very watertight. And so let's see if I remember which way this goes. Yeah, it goes like this. You can see it just kind of sits on there. And so when you ultrasonically clean it, it's gonna get water in it. And so when you're done, you kind of have to desolder it. In order, you can get one side off very easily, but it helps to get the other side off also as easily. And then you open this up and then you can dry it on the inside. And so like even I after I ultrasonically clean things, I do a distilled water bath, and then I do an isopropanol bath. And you know, even that's not enough to clean out the inside of that thing. All right, let's clean our tip. Let's put a little bit of solder on here. And so we're using Chungus iron because you can see it. These are big traces, and so they're gonna absorb that heat very quickly. One of the things that you'll also encounter, like we just did right here, is that even though you ultrasonically clean a 2SI power supply, there's still going to be residue in the vias. Like there's just no getting around that. And sometimes when you're moving your soldering iron around there, you're gonna blow, like that's gonna prevent you from, or it's gonna like break up that solder joint pretty easily. And so you got to be careful about that and go back and fix all those joints that you sorry, ooh, try to make that a little bit clearer for you to see. Fix all those solder joints that you mess up. And Justin has a really good point. If you want, you can take off the relay before you give it its ultrasonic bath. That's a way to deal with that. Some people like to take off the coils. I haven't found that to be necessary. There's always a first time. Or the transformers, coils, relays, coils or transformers can kind of sometimes be similar. But yeah, the transformers could potentially absorb moisture, so it's something to keep your eye on. It would be kind of hard to see with the naked eye if it's absorbed moisture. I also stick mine in an oven for a little while, low temperature oven, to help remove moisture after ultrasonically cleaning these things. You can see here that solder joint just got blown out. It's okay. It's okay. We'll get it back. See that one? That came off pretty easily. Doesn't hurt to shove a little flux in there. I guess if you were like hardcore, you could like unsolder every component from the board, and then that would prevent you, that would help you clean out your little holes, but it's probably not necessary to get that hardcore about it. So I'm just using the solder braid here to also kind of act as an abrasive and help polish things up a little bit. So Steve, are you going to have a video about the thing that you were working on today? Oh, looks like I'm missing. Okay. All right, So you can see here like this, we want to make sure to go back and reflow that real nice. Let's add a little, oh, that did a nice job, that came back. But we don't want to miss any of these. Don't want to miss those little weird solder joints. The other nice thing about doing this like this is it is kind of, you can see that we're getting flux through those holes. That's helping purge the nastiness. Okay. You can see like this one. That one is resisting. There we go. Make sure I get some heat on that pin. This little guy. That little guy. Okay. These three little guys. There we go. Okay. So I think that's fixing the bulk of the mess that we made here. Now it's time. I still don't like that one. Some heat on you, guy. There we go. Now that one's better. Hey, Callan. Okay, so I think that's all that we need to do zoomed in. Let's go back to the main camera, main screen turn on. So we have here a board without any caps on it. So how do we know what caps go where? Because AG was kind enough to include a recap kit from Console 5. Who knows how to know what caps go where? Some of you probably have this memorized. Steve, could you recap a 2SI from pure memory? You probably could. These two are for the little daughter board thingy. Trina says, take before pictures. That's brilliant. That's a really smart thing to do. Yes, that's one way to go about it. I know where these two go. So we can go to recapamac.com.au. And he has the 2SI power supply. Did that zoom in for y'all? Oh, look at that. Steve knows. Steve knows. And Chris knows. So we know all of our cap values from recapamac.com.au. All right, so let's start cramming caps in this beast. Trina says that's cheating. No, that's like saving us work. For other power supplies that he doesn't have on there, I've made maps. And so if you need like a Quadra 630 power supply. I have the maps for that. 56 microfarad. Okay, so let's do this one first since it's kind of weird. 56 microfarad, 35 volt. This kit came with 50 volt. Should be totally fine. And we're gonna stay with big iron for this work today. It helps this process go a little bit quicker. Garth only reminded me to get bigger iron, bigger tips for my new weller like 100 times, so I still have forgotten to order new tips. Okay, one down. All right, so we need some 100 microfarads. What do we got here? That's a 47. Where's our 47 go? Well, let's hold it this way, like in the thing. This is a 47 microfarad, 35 volts. Okay. Put that in there like that. And next to it, so we should have two 100 microfarads. Here's a 100 microfarad 25 volt. Stick that next to it. Okay, and these boards are marked nicely so you know where the pluses are. The pluses are going to be the long legs from the caps. All right, now back around. These are two 220 microfarads, 16 volts. Yep. So we got one going there. Oh, we should also remember to put on that relay before we forget. Oh, geez. Did I clean it? I covered up the hole. I covered that hole up. There we go. That is the side effect of doing that the way I do. Sometimes you cover up the little holes with solder. But it's easy to find them again. Okay. I don't like how high that one's up. We're gonna scunch that one a little closer to the board. Children, don't make me remind you about the scunching. Does anyone know the reference for that? Bet you if i80386SX were here, he would know. Oh, Ron's here. How's it going, Ron? I bet you Ron knows that reference. Children, don't make me tell you again about the scunching. Francois Varvaz says, nice silicone soldering mat that looks like a Mac top case. It's just a 2SI. It's just a 2SI. Okay. What else do we got here? Let's use this little guy. This is a 100 microfarad. This should be a 10 volt, but the kit gives us a 16. Should be fine. It's just a 2SI. Those are Ron's words. That's not my words. Those were Ron's words. I was as offended as you are. All right. Oh, let's slap that relay back on. And the pins are staggered, so you can't stick it in the wrong way. I guess you probably could stick it in the wrong way if you were really, really trying. It's just like putting the AT pins on a power supply connector on an AT connector the wrong way. That's also really easy to do if you're not trying. All right. So now we got our little guy in there. Let's put these big guys up here. So you can see that the recapping part of it is the easy part of a 2SI power supply. It's the cleaning that's the hard part of a 2SI power supply. Making sure that they're all nice and pressed up. All right, what's this one? 2200 microfarad. This one is a 6.3 volt. So that one goes over here. Dope. I'm really bummed out from yesterday. As much as I'm joking about it, it really did bother me that I put the AT power supply things on backwards. And I did it this morning too. I was working on one of those boards, and I did it again. I didn't power it up. I double checked myself, but man, talk about kicking your confidence. So this is a 4.7 microfarad, 400 volts. We know we're dealing with the primary side, so that's that guy right there. Retrotech Tom is here. How's it going? All right. Moving right along. Okay, we're down to 2 caps and the 2 for the daughter board. Yeah, we got to do the daughter board. Don't let me forget that. Oh, no, we're not down to 2 caps. One rolled away. We have 2. Wait a minute. Did I grab the one? No. 2200 microfarads. Oh, that one goes there. There's another one right there. You go over here. 2200 microfarads, 16 volts. Get over there. It was an escapee capacitor. It did not want to be soldered in with its brethren. Let's double check. Yep, that's the proper orientation. Tech Ambrosia says, we saw the true side of tantalum capacitors yesterday. Yeah, we also saw their insides. Actually, I should show you that under the microscope. They are very cool to look at. Post-explosion. Okay, so we have 2 1200 microfarad, 16 volts. Just straightening out the legs here. And they go there. Come here, you guy. And there. Oh, tantrum capacitors. Sorry. Hey, Starbucks Tech's here. Nope, that one needs to go down just a little more. There we go. Now it's nice where it should go. Okay, we're gonna have to go back to the little board now. Is there anything? This is something that you also need to remember to do when you're working on this stuff. Always clip the legs. This can cause some fun electricity to happen. All right, let's go back to the little board in the microscope. Oh yeah, you want to see the tantalums from yesterday? There's 2. There's 3. So yeah, those 3 had some explosions yesterday. I just heard an explosion. I didn't even have anything plugged in. What the hell was that? Yeah, tents look like the Among Us guys. Sloopy says, I think those might be past their prime. Yeah, one almost burned a hole in the BigBadBench itself. But luckily, it just cleaned up with isopropanol. Okay, so we got to take the, you guys go away for a little bit. Justin D. Morgan says those are sus. Okay, so we're going to use hot tweezers on here today. You could also do this with your hot air station. And you can also just do like one leg at a time and be very careful, but hot tweezers make this job nice and easy. Okay, so let's put a little flux on here. Flux that up a little bit, we'll flux that up a little bit, and then we'll flux this up a little bit because we're going to polish that up a little. And I can use the small iron for this one. Kind of cut a little bit off of my solder braid, but we're going to reuse that solder braid. Solder braid with some solder on it is a really nice polish for this kind of thing. Oh yeah, these little things. It is easy to desolder those. Okay. See how nice that trace is? See how nice and happy that trace is now? Happy little traces. And we'll clean up these pads. One of the things about these boards is you can see that the pads are actually just like gaps in the solder mask. And so it is easy to sort of lose sight of where the caps are supposed to go in these situations. So just be careful, keep your eye on it. Bruce does have nice pictures of these on there, so it's easy to figure out eventually. Okay, so now we gotta put those two caps on there. Oh, let's clean up this board a little bit. Our old friend isopropanol. So much nicer. This little board is probably the nicest one that I've ever seen of these things. But as MMU man said, you could probably re-engineer it. I think if I were to re-engineer this board, I would probably just do like a Pico ATX conversion sooner. Okay. So, what we're gonna do now is gonna put some solder on one of the pads for each of these. Gonna clean my tip. We're also gonna flux these a little bit. Take the dog hair off. Okay, this one is 33 microfarad, 25 volts with the stripe to the top. Let's use some tweezers so that we're nice and perfectly square. Otherwise my brain might itch. Come on, flow. Flow. There we are. There we are. I don't think dog hair is nature's flux. No, I don't think that's accurate. You say a lot of things that are correct there, Gabon, but that's not one of them. Maybe dog slobber. Okay. And this cap is this cap is exasperated. JFC. And yes, I did drop an F-bomb on stream yesterday. The YouTube gods took away all of the money that I've ever earned on YouTube because of that. All 37 cents. Craig Learmont, welcome to the channel. Oh yeah, that's the kind of great humor we get here on the Big Bad Bench. Flow a little nicer there. Oh, that's better. That's better. We need those nice shiny solder joints or my brain itches. Okay. Now, to put on that daughter board, I guess we can do that outside of the microscope. Let's go back to here. This goes like this. Make sure, oh, yeah, I do want to make sure that's a little straighter. Maybe add a little bit of solder back because I did get rid of a little bit of solder there. Let's put a little bit more on. Oh no, now it's gone way wacky. Oh, it's so wacky now. There it goes. Now it's happy. They're all nice and even now. This one is just a little bent. Okay. Nice. Craig got his IIsi power supply recapped. Yeah, definitely something that needs to happen with these things. It's one of those that never pay a lot for a IIsi on eBay or something like that, because you know it's gonna need some work. Of course, I'm not one to give advice, considering the two IIsis that I bought on eBay that I knew were battery bombed. I'm not one to give advice on eBay buying patterns. Okay. So let's clean this up. Guess we won't do this on the old IIsi. No, AG, your IIsi is in good shape. Mine were so battery bombed that they were not recoverable. I bought them because they had the risers in them that I needed. Oh, I just saw a solder joint that I missed. Look. Look at this. Oh. This is why I say be careful. That one. Actually, there's some corrosion there that we should work on too. Good thing I spotted that. Yeah, this needs a little bit of a cleanup. I don't wanna leave that like that. So since we're just doing a small trace here, we'll use the scrape method. And some flux. All right, that's nicer. Now we don't have to worry about that part. Now we gotta clean again though. Oh, look. That's why cleaning is a good idea. Helps you see some of these things. Does anyone else spot where I desoldered a thing? There we go. That one is very resistant. You get extra flux. Yeah. Gonna have to clean that. That one is not happy. FLX, how's it going? I have two IIsi boards with medium battery damage. That's nice if it's still recoverable. I can pull out one of my bad ones and show you all. This little guy. Let's try to get... Get that isopropanol off of there. That'll help the solder flow because it won't help dissipate the heat. Evaporation helps dissipate heat. Let's flux up this bad boy, and we'll use actually the small tip and encourage that lead to take on the heat. There we go. That's happy now. All right. Tech Ambrosia hitting us with really great game recommendations. So here we go. This is a little isopropanol that'll dry off by the time we go to power this up. This looks way better than it did when it got here. There was also some cap residue inside the case a little bit. So we're gonna stick this in here. Okay. So then we have 3 coarse screws, I think. Yeah. Hold that on, that holds that on. Okay, so yeah, these 3 coarse screws are the ones that hold the board into the case. Let's get a screwdriver. One of these was really rusted. You can tell. I hit it with the wire wheel to get that rust off. And so that one would have been down here with all the badness. Well, with most of the badness. Yep, you sent the screws and everything, so we are good to go. Okay, so now, next thing is we have this, I don't remember, oh, it looks from the little marking that it's a dual diode. So that gets this little guy, and there'll be a screw that holds that on, but they want to put a little bit of thermal compound in there. There was originally by stock. So we're going to do the same thing. I'm just going to squirt that in there. It's going to make a little bit of a mess, but that's fine. That's fine. Then this little clamp goes on here. So then the remaining screws, we have 2 long ones, 1 short one. The 1 short one is to hold it back together. This, oh gosh, we dropped it. Oh, we dropped it. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. We'll be good. Come on, you jerk. This one can be a little bit fiddly. So this clamp just holds that dual diode onto the side of the chassis. Act as a little bit of a heat sink. So there you go. You can see our thermal paste is squeezed out the side, so that's happy. And then I think this thing is a thermal fuse. And that also just goes like this. It's got a screw. There we go. Okay, so I think what we're gonna do is power this guy, or plug this guy in while it's still open. Just to see if it explodes. Because Trina loves explosions. Oh, actually, no, there's 2 of these little screws. That's right. There's another one over here. Let's hold that on. So theoretically you can power these things on by jumping stuff, but generally what I do is just check for if the 5-volt standby comes up and also see if there's fire. Because generally if there's fire, you know you did something wrong. Oh, there's a wire. Got our electric right here. Okay, gonna shut off our IEC connector. Okay, we ready? This is always a little bit blood pressure raising when you get a power supply all put back together. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Okay, good. Nothing exploded, so that's a good thing. Now this is hot right now, so you definitely don't want to put your fingers inside here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna stick that upside down, and we're gonna put it on voltage DC. We're gonna look at this again. You can see where our black wire comes out is over there. So we're gonna stick our black probe here, and then we're gonna just go around. There we go, we got 5 volts there. So that's our trickle. Our trickle's good. Theoretically, none of these other ones should be hot right now. There we go. We got our 5-volt trickle. Craig Learmont says, smoke test successful. Yes. We'll take it. Okay. Alright, so let's take this to SI. Open this one. So this 2SI is one that I bought from a dude around here that apparently sells on Facebook, or not on Facebook, on blah blah blah, that website where people sell a lot of things. Sorry, Trina. Sorry to disappoint you today, Trina, that I didn't blow anything up. Yesterday's stream was enough blowing things up, so I think we're good for this week. At least I hope we're good for this week. Uh-oh. So what I'd like to do is make sure that this thing is still good. It's been a while since I used it. I need a Mac monitor adapter. Where did I put my Mac monitor adapter? Dang it. I was just using it. Here's one. This is one. This should work. So yeah, this guy posted on Facebook that he had 3 rooms of stuff that he really needed to unload quickly. And I was like, oh, okay. So I get over to his place and it's a business. And he wants eBay prices for shit. Oh, sorry, YouTube. And so I was very angry, but eventually we came to some prices. I bought a bunch of LCs, LC2s, and stuff from him. And I bought this 2SI. It's been recapped. It was not recapped very well though. So it's something I might work on. But also you can see that the case is a little yellow. Yeah, Chuck Ambrosia just ordered another 2 Mac to VGA connectors. Never hurts to have more of those around. All right, let's see if this one works. 3, 2, 1. Powered on. Didn't chime. Oh, I think I might know why. Okay. So let's pop this card out. Gupom asks, is this guy I'm thinking of down south? No, this guy is in the middle of Massachusetts. So one of the fun things you can do with a 2SI is overclock it. But these stupid, oh, yeah. My pin came off. Sorry, 1 second. But sometimes your these little sockets are not super tight. Let's try this again. Dang. This thing's mad, bro. Might have to, oh, look at that. That is angry. Come on, you jerk. Gonna have to get my other two IIsi. Hold on, I'll get my other IIsi. Guess this one's gonna need some more work. I will be right back. Please excuse me. Talk amongst yourselves. I have not updated my IIsis to have blue SCSI V2s yet. That's what it's supposed to sound like. This one might actually be overclocked too. Hey, Joe's Computer Museum's here. Well, XGA is just a resolution, right? Sorry. Yeah. Okay, so if you're using the ones with the dip switches, there's all manner. I have played with those settings so much. So this is the one that I found is the most flexible. I have a couple that are just the ones with the dip switches. This one, it's hard to find the manual for, but I have it. If you come across one of these, this one's pretty easy to make a lot of different resolutions happen. Okay, but we saw that this one booted up. You could see that behind me, and we shut it back down. So now what we got to do is get this power supply. Okay, yeah, these things, there's a clip down over here, and there's a clip down over here. So I like to stick the butt of my tweezers up here. There's another clip on that side, and then you can slide it up. It's the easiest way to do it. Okay, so now we got to do AGs. We'll leave it open in case there's sparktacular explosions. Oh, the one thing I forgot to do is, so these connectors get really grody, and so I gave this, in addition to an ultrasonic bath, I gave that connector a little bit of a vinegar bath because those can get really corroded. But I also like to, when I'm kind of done, just give it a little deoxit down in the ports, into the connectors. Okay, here we go. All right, what do we think? Let's get some of this ready. It's gonna work perfectly. Let's see. 3, 2, 1. Yes! Hey, Bronchus Creations, how's it going, Bruce? Haven't seen you in a long time. Hope you're doing well. There we go. We got our 5-volt, looks pretty good. We were talking about you earlier, Bruce. We used your guide. Our 12 volts a little high, but that's fine. There we go. Woo! Well, that was exciting. We got a really nasty IIsi power supply rebuilt. That is always a fun thing to do. And by fun, I mean poking myself in the eye with a hot poker is the kind of fun that I'm talking about there. No, I'm always happy to help out a community member. So AG, looks like we got your IIsi power supply all happy. Oh yeah, Joe is streaming tonight, everyone. Do not forget that. Again, so what we're gonna do here, gonna clip that up like that, and gonna stick that butt of the tweezers down in there to get that other clip, and then we're gonna lift that up there like that. Oh, that clip redid itself. And there we go. Be careful, even though this is unplugged, these caps can still hold a bunch of juice. Not the normal kind of cap juice that we were talking about earlier, but the electricity kind of juice. And get this closed back up and sent back off to AG. Get back in there. There we go. There's that other screw. So I was going to do a case swap today, but considering the system that I was going to swap... Oh geez, did I lose it inside the IIsi? No. Considering that the system that I was going to swap, the other IIsi, is not chiming, I think we're going to skip that for today. Gonna put a little note on here. 8724 BBB. So yeah, Joe's having a stream tonight highlighting a lot of the folks that are gonna be or have parts and or will have parts out soon. Oh geez, I'm about to drop our mouse. Oh man, what the heck is going on? Sorry, making old man noises. So this one, I have a feeling I know what the issue is. This is a socket for the crystal oscillator, and I think the socket has finally gone to poop, which happens with all of these things. So I think I'm going to get rid of that socket and actually just solder in the appropriate crystal and have this thing run at the default speed. I'll use my other IIsi for overclocking adventures. Did I find out what the parts were missing on the other board? No, I'll pull apart one of my other ones and figure it out, but it's easy enough to do. Wow. So I think that's going to end it today. I was going to do a full-on case swap because basically the case that I originally bought is nice and beige, and I retrobrighted this one. and so I was going to swap it all over, but I want to fix this thing first. So we'll figure that out. We're not going to do that on stream. Oh, if Tech Ambrosia. Actually, a little update from yesterday's stream. This board, which was the whole reason I bought that lot of junk yesterday. So on stream, we tried to power it up. It didn't do anything. One of the capacitors was like physically smashed. So I replaced that cap. I cleaned out the RAM sockets real well. I cleaned the BIOS socket and reseated that. Powered right up. So now I have an 8-bit NF7. This is a board that I've like lusted after for however many years. What's it? 23 years since this came out. Super excited to have this board going. So this will be a fun board to play with. So yeah, what else did we do? Where did I put it? I don't know. I was playing with one of the other boards. Where did I put that board? Oh, here it is. This is the board that I exploded all the tantalums on, and so I've replaced those. I did the mod to fix the Dallas real-time clock. I put a regular 386 in this, one of the other CPUs that came with that lot. I did some more extensive testing, and this thing's cranking along. It's a fine 386 board, but as you can see here, this area is very bland. You can see that there's something missing here that all good boards are going to have, and that's the cache. And so this board has no cache, but that's going to limit its usefulness, limit its performance a little bit. So it's a 386 board, but meh. So if anyone's looking for a 386 system, just hit me up. This board's pretty great, and I'm happy to send it off to whoever needs one. Okay, so I think that's gonna do it for today. We did 2 streams in a row. That's a lot of social interaction for me. But no, seriously, thank you everyone that stopped by. I really appreciate it, and we'll be back Saturday. I promise I won't bother you again before Saturday, so we'll be back to our normal Saturday schedule starting Saturday. So yeah, have a lovely rest of your week, you all, and as always, I appreciate y'all, and hit the like button if you don't mind. That would be kind of cool. But yeah, have a good one.